What's going on, traders? Happy Friday. I hope you guys have all been enjoying your day, but I wanted to go ahead and break down my trades and let you guys know exactly how it went for me today, so let's jump right into today's recap. And as you guys can see, I did have another red day overall on my account, right? Down $186. In terms of how I did trading-wise, I was up $70 on SQs, and I did make $36 on TQs. So I was able to hit my 1% daily goal today, right? So super blessed for that. And as you guys can see, right, I started trading right at 6:30, right when market opened, and I didn't stop trading until 7 o'clock. So I only traded for 30 minutes today, so it was definitely more of a productive day. But let me just go ahead and break down my trades and let you guys know exactly how I was able to make my money. But in terms of what I saw going on, right, obviously if you guys saw the NASDAQ market yesterday, we did experience a nice sell-off, right? And so heading into today, right, the dilemma I had was, now that we broke below the SMA line, right, are we going to finally start to see it pick back up, right, and see this thing finally start to push and break above it? Or are we going to experience, this thing continuing to trade sideways? And so I didn't know if we were going to trade sideways and continue to get rejected, right, and sell off, or if we were going to try to pick back up, right? But I had an open mind for both directions, right, heading into the market today. And so, once I woke up right around market open, right, what did I see going on during the pre-market? Well, this thing was selling off, right? So that would indicate that this thing wanted to continue selling off. But what happened right around 4 o'clock in the morning, right around this area, 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning? Well, this thing found the support and started to trade sideways, right? So it would start trading sideways, no longer make lower lows. And not only that, right, but once it broke above the EMA, it pushed down, it held the support level again, and formed a higher low, right? So this thing, was able to bounce at the support it was experiencing, push higher than it did last time, right, where it pulled on back. And then once it pulled on back here, right, what do you guys see happen? Well, this thing formed another higher low yet again. So this is telling me here, right, this push is telling me here that this thing is indicating signs of a potential bounce, right? It no longer wants to continue selling off the way it was here, right? If that was the case, this thing would have continued to fall the way it did here, right? But instead, we ended up bouncing, finding a support, pushing up, pulling on back, forming a higher low, right? So that's what I saw all pre-market, right? We ended up pushing up, right, pulling on back. And what did I see going on during, market open? Well, this thing started to shoot up, right? This thing started to shoot up. And so it wasn't, very surprising to me that this thing was pushing up, but I was expecting some form of pullback. And so that's why I didn't get in very aggressive on the way up here, right? That's how I was able to make about my $36 or so, right, on TQs. It was on this first push up, getting in with the light position, cutting it when I felt this thing was going to pull on back. And why did I think we were going to experience some form of pullback here? Well, typically stocks, right, when they want to start pushing up, as you guys can see, they form a support, they push up, they pull on back, right? Then they push up and form a higher low. But bigger picture, you have to realize and take a step back what is going on. So there's a chance this thing can pull on back, right, and start to continue to sell off. Or if this thing pushes on back to around these previous support levels, right, there is a chance that this thing can find a support and yet again, right, do what it did during the pre-market, but on a bigger scale, right? Does that make sense? Do you guys know what I mean? So pre-market, we saw this thing, right, push up, fall, approach the support level, push back up, pull on back, and form a new higher low. And so bigger picture, this was going on, right, with the market. So what I mean is this thing pushed up at market open, became overextended, was due for a correction, and it pulls itself back up. But bigger picture, this thing was able to find a support where it previously did pre-market and was able to push up yet again, right? So I was actually done trading at this point. I wrote the NASDAQ on the way down, right, to this area. I locked in profits down here, decided to walk away, but I fully knew there was a nice setup for a potential TQs play, right, for it to potentially catch a support and push back up and form a new high. So that's one thing I've noticed, right, that I've been catching or doing a lot better with in terms of my trading. It's realizing that, small direction changes like this can also apply bigger picture, right? So this thing will push down, find a support here, push up, pull on back, and form a higher low. And on the bigger scale of things, this thing was doing the exact same thing, right? It pushed up, pulled on back to previous support levels, and then decided to push up and form a higher low. So that really, made sense to me, and that's why I decided to go in on the way down. Why did I decide not to, take that trade if I saw that opportunity there? I was already up, right? I was already at my amount that I wanted to be up on the day, and there's no need to take that trade because there's always a chance that this thing could have broken support and continue to sell off, right? Just because I thought there was a potential for it to bounce doesn't even mean that I have to get in, right? I decided to just wait, I would have been more angry at myself if this thing went south, right? And then I had to cut losses, and then I was down, or I wasn't up my 1% daily goal, rather than, try risking it for this push up here. But, it was nice to see that it did end up playing out. And as you guys can see, the remainder of the day was just selling off, right? And if you look at it on the bigger time frame, it makes sense why potentially, right? This thing finally tried finding a support, as I mentioned, right, on the bigger time frame. But, we did experience this blue EMA line, right, on the 10-day chart as a resistance. So this thing ended up pulling on back, testing previous support, right, and then pushing back up, as I mentioned. So, it's just really a matter of identifying where it can potentially bounce and trying to ride that direction up. And then at areas where it's no longer a good deal, just, stay in cash or selling out completely and maybe trying to switch into the other ETF. But, that's pretty much how my week went. I started off rough on Monday, able to, end green consistently every other day. So I am up on the week about 1.5%. I am finishing, so I'm grateful for that. But, I just wanted to explain to you guys how I was able to make my money today, right? And I hope you guys did find any of this informative, but if you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and leave a comment and I will be more than happy to answer it. Anything stock related, right? You want me to break down a stock or any stock indicator, just go ahead and drop a comment and I will be more than happy to do that. But other than that, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I do want to make you guys aware that on Tuesday, right on Valentine's Day, February 14th, we are going to have a CPI data report, right? So that's going to have, cause the market to move and react a lot. So that's definitely something exciting to look forward to next week. But, there is lots of worries that, if CPI comes out, higher, lower than expected, it could really shift the market. So we just need to follow up with that. But we will provide you guys with a reminder on Monday, for the report that comes out on Tuesday. But thank you guys so much for your time again. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend. And all you guys stay safe. But other than that, we will see you guys Monday. Have a good weekend and take care.